Animals feel the world around them much better than people, so people should trust them more, especially in issues that are beyond their understanding. For example, dogs are able to warn their owners about danger long before something terrible happens. Unfortunately, some people ignore the signals their pets give them, and it almost costs them their lives. One day, an old forester stumbled upon a little wolf pup in the forest. Being young and inexperienced, the animal got caught in a trap and couldn't pull its front paw out of it. The man took pity on the little pup and set it free. The forester was about to leave when he realized that the young wolf wouldn't survive without help. It couldn't even step on its own paw, so the man took it in. Thanks to his good care, the wolf soon recovered, although it continued to limp a little. Soon, the forester felt that he could no longer live in the village, as he couldn't handle taking care of the village home anymore. He moved to the city where his daughter lived, and left the house to his adult grandson, who got married recently and was very happy to move into his grandfather's house with his young wife. A little bit later, the wife got pregnant, and the family was waiting for the birth of their son. All this time, the wolf was slowly getting used to the new owners. He immediately accepted the young man, but his wife made the wolf uneasy for some reason. It was only when the woman's belly began to grow that the wolf became friendlier and even began to accept food from the woman. It seemed that the life of the newlyweds would continue as a real-life fairy tale, but something unfortunate happened to them. One winter day, when the man of the house was at work, his wife lit the stove and lay down to rest. But for some reason, maybe from simple forgetfulness, the young woman forgot to open the damper. Carbon monoxide filled the room and caused the wife to lose consciousness. When the husband came back home after his shift, he found his wife lying on the floor. He called an ambulance, but it was too late. The paramedic said that, unfortunately, there was nothing he could do to help. The man was beside himself with grief. He sat next to his deceased wife and cried quietly. Suddenly, the door opened, and their wolf came into the room. It usually didn't ask to go into the house, but for some reason this time, it pushed the doors with its paws, went up to the body, and looked at it for a long time. Suddenly, the wolf jumped up and began to lick the dead woman's hands. The man was blinded with rage. He took the animal outside and put it on a chain. The wolf was going crazy in the yard all night. The day of the funeral came. When all of the unpleasant procedures were over, the young widower came back home and locked himself in the kitchen. The wolf continued to howl while trying to gnaw through the chain. The man even wanted to shoot it, but instead, he went up to his pet and took off its collar. The wolf immediately rushed into the forest in the direction of the cemetery, but the man didn't pay attention to it. In the morning, the man went to check on the grave together with the parents of his deceased wife. When they approached the cemetery, they saw something was going on there. The grave was half dug, and their wolf was standing on it. It had tried to dig up the woman. People were trying to chase it away from the grave, but suddenly they heard a moan. The sound came from below. In just a few minutes, they dug out the body of the unfortunate woman. She was alive, and the little heart inside her was still beating as well. Both the woman and her child survived. The doctor's surprise had no limit. After all, when they called her death before, she had no pulse. Ever since that day, the wolf has become a true member of the family. If it weren't for his perseverance, 2 innocent lives would have remained underground. What do you think of this story? Have you ever witnessed such a thing? Let us know in the comments below.